All right, so one. First one was like, well, praise, honor, and glory to you.
How by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakakadash,
The one that stood apostles and elders of great millstone, and to all saints rock out their personal truth and sincerity. It's the brother Abanya.
Shmaryala.
We just sitting here, chatting, and the gist of the conversation was, flowing with the spirit,
That's right.
It's like, flowing with the spirit, being in tuned, and before you can try to fine tune, the next brother, or you have an ideal of what you think the next brother should be doing. Hey, first off, you gotta tune yourself, and make sure your mind right, This is Proverbs chapter 16, verse 32. It says, "He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he that ruleth his spirit than he that taketh a city." So ruling your spirit is better than he that taketh a whole city. Because if you can rule, your spirit, like I said, start with you. Ultimately you'll be able to take the city. Why? Because you probably could elaborate a little bit more on this. When you go on certain ventures,
Yeah, you think about like no matter where you are in the world, like no matter what you're doing, you're at a job, you're out in public. A lot of times, people, it's like you're being tested. People are always constantly trying to test you and see if they can knock you off your square, roughly paraphrasing. And being in the mindset to understand what's going on. Like, for instance, this is what I do. I try to read what spirit that person is coming in, and like if it's negative and they're trying to rile me up and piss me off, that's when I get circumspect and kind of examine it further to know like that's not the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and then to understand that okay, if it ain't the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, it's of the world of the wicked, of the flesh, and just rebuke it. And by rebuking it, I mean ignoring it, praying that the Lord take it, cast it away or get it away from me. It might be even like your own thoughts,
the word enemy, the enemy,
Mm-hmm.
the inner me, so to speak, because it's that constant battle with your own thoughts. You might perceive something to be one way, but it might be totally opposite. And just like you mentioned, discerning, judging. You have something?
This is Romans chapter 8, verse 5. It says, "For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh, but they that are after the spirit, the things of the spirit."
Right. They that are after the flesh mind the things of the flesh. Because and that's when you start to actually think carnal. You start to oh yeah, this person feel that way, that person feel that way. You misjudging. You judging the physical side, but what about the spiritual side? Because we know that it's a balance to everything. The Lord might have a particular person, private you just to teach you a lesson, or He might have a certain person private you, to teach them a lesson, and also to build you up. So the Lord can flip the sword. However you want. Give me Hebrews 4:12. You got some more on that?
Yeah,
go ahead.
This is verse 6. It says, "For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace."
Right.
You see that word peace?
Right. Carnally minded is death.
Mm-hmm.
Because you thinking them negative thoughts, you act. What's the word? Prematurely, emotionally. And you go based off your feelings, and to be spiritually minded. What did it say again?
It says to be spiritually minded is life and peace.
To be spiritually minded is life and peace. You know, and the scripture said, "Take no thought." You know, as far as certain things go. You know, yeah, you know, if you got to say something, you got to say something. But for the most part, hey, you can just, hey, look, hey, the Lord gonna deal with it. You know, the Lord gonna take care of it. You know, you pray to Yahweh Shem Yahushua, you know, that He take it to, you know, how you deal with it the way He wants you to.
Now, so now does that also go into, you know, examination, like you examining the situation? Being able to take a step back and examine it before you act upon or say anything or
Discernment.
have discernment. This is verse 7. It says, "Because the carnal mind is enmity against the Most High, for it is not subject to the law of the Most High, neither indeed can be. So then they that are in the flesh cannot please the Most High."
Right, because you act off impulse, emotion, those sort of things. Before you gonna think before you react, but you got to be the exact opposite. You got to act. Well, you got to think. I said it wrong. You can't act first. You got to think first, then act. You know.
And you think about this. That's part of the curses that are on our people.
Yeah, they just do.
They just do. That's why it's a lot of killings, a lot of disrespect, a lot of things that just happen because instead of Jake and Eve, you know, sitting back and thinking the thing through, they jump right into action.
Okay.
You know.
It's real quick. This is Hebrews chapter 4, verse 12. It says, "For the word of the Most High is quick and powerful, and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing the dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and the joints and the marrow, and the discerner of thoughts and the intent of the heart." You know, so it cut all ways. You know. You got something else?
No, that was it.
All right, this is Proverbs 28:5. You know, because we went in. You know, we started by explaining, you know, the benefits of ruling your spirit. But what happens if you don't? This is Proverbs 28:5. It said, "He that had no rule over his spirit is like a city broken down without walls." You know, it's self-destructive. You know,
no protection.
Right.
No protection. You open to any enemy attack. You know.
Right.
And then, you know, you think about the world. You know, you're open to all type of kind of demonic attacks from people, Satan on the spiritual realm. You know, coming thoughts. You know.
God.
You know, so you spiritually, physically. You know, you're being. You have no walls. You're just open. You're open.
Hey, you setting yourself up for failure. You know
what the scriptures say too. What the parents said, you're naked.
Yeah.
You're spiritually naked. You don't have no discernment to really see it through.
Yeah, and like I said, hey, that without walls, you know, without protection, you know, hey, you might be in a situation to where you acted irrationally, you know, or hastily. Hey, and you put yourself in a bad predicament, you know. Yeah, the Lord can get you out of it, but 9 times out of 10, hey, it's gonna be a lesson involved in it, you know. And that's to teach you, to help you grow.
I think most of us who have those situations to where we wish we, you know, before we came in the truth, like, man, I wish I could have took that one back, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I wish I would have acted upon a little different on that one, you know. And,
right.
You know, that's part of the curses, you know. So Jake, you know, you just doing things without thinking, you know. You letting, like you said, like you letting your anger get the best of you. You're not, like he said, like the scriptures say, you have no wall. You have no protection, you know. And ultimately, Yahweh Shem Yahushua is this protection through the spirit, through the concordations of the Holy Spirit, which gives you the understanding that you need so that you are able to be circumspect, examine every situation, know how to act, know how to behave, know how to, you know, counteract, you know.
And it's like you said, the point is, it's a balance to everything, you know. You know, you gotta move in the spirit, you know. And in order to move in the spirit, first off, you gotta be studying. You gotta be, you know, scripture say, "Study to show thyself approved, a workman that need not be ashamed." And so if you study, hey, you gonna take on the mindset. All right, let me think about what I'm doing. I thought about what I'm doing. What are they doing, and how's it affecting me? Because if it's not affecting you, then what do you have to worry about? You know?
That's right.
Because first and foremost, your job is to teach the word. Salaki, this is you know what the scripture had to say, be temperate in all things.
Said be temperate in all things.
Yeah, be temperate.
Got it. This is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 9 verse 25. And it reads, it says, and every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things.
Right, the man that say that part again.
It says, and every man that striveth for the mastery.
Every man that striveth for the mastery. You know, we're obtaining to be perfect. You know, we're trying to be that perfect man. You know, of course we're gonna come short, but you know, hey, we're gonna strive in perfection to be perfect. If that makes sense. Go ahead.
Again, it says, and every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things.
It's temperate. Temperate meaning balance. You know, balanced in all things. You know, not leaning too far to the left, not leaning too far to the right. You know, what they say call a well-rounded individual. You know,
they that word temperament, I believe it derives from that, temperate or temperament. But they think about animals, and as you heard the dog bark, they always ask the question, what type of temperament does that dog have? Because most people don't want a very vicious dog that can cause problems and attack people, right?
Yeah.
And you think about being in the spirit, you're calm, you're collective, you're always circumspect, you're always examining things, you're never just acting upon impulse.
Right.
You're a calm individual, you know? And the Lord wants us to be in that spirit because he says what? Vengeance is what?
Vengeance is his.
Yeah.
Hey, so and that's why we gotta constantly be in the spiritual state of mind. You know, examining everything and judging everything according to the word.
That's right.
You know, in our everyday life. You know, judging what's right, what's wrong. Doing what's right and what's wrong. It's like doing what's right and not what's wrong. You know. And like I said, just overall being well-rounded, you know, and striving for that perfection.
Yeah, it reads some more. It says, now they that do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible crown.
Right. So you know, you got people in the world who are very well balanced. You know, they do it for a corruptible crown, being money, financial gain. And you even got brothers in the truth who do it for corruptible reasons. You know, for vainglory, whatever the case is, you know. But we are incorruptible. You know, we're doing this to please Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. We were talking about, you know, before the lesson. We're not doing this to please man. You know, what we're doing is to make our calling and election sure that we be that we possibly be of the elect.
Elect.
You know. Did you have anything else?
That was it.
Hey, so with that, you know. All praise, honor, glory to
Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushai, by Hashem, Rakakadash.
The honors to the apostles and elders of great wisdom, and to all those concerned about their presence, the truth, and sincerity. Shalom.
Shalom. My damn garbage is